The following podcast is intended for mature audiences. If you enjoy our work, please like, comment, subscribe, and follow the links in the description. Thanks for your support, and enjoy.
Greetings and salutations, listener. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, joined as always by my fellow lover of food, the boy.
Hey.
This is a Two Nerds podcast. Today we're going to talk about Jack and shit.
So, you may notice there's a problem with the dates on the pod. Listen, alright, there's a really good explanation for why it's coming out today instead of the traditional, not today.
I have so much desire to just shout, boy has butt cancer.
No, I mean, it's a really good explanation. It's very serious. We fucking forgot.
He had Monday off. That's when we record the podcast. There's a rhythm to it. Boy comes home from work. We go, we got to record a podcast. He goes, yup. I sigh because he's offering me nothing. 3 hours later, we record a podcast on something. This week, he had the Monday off, so we just fucking forgot. I downloaded Nuka World and realized that my would-be raider isn't high enough level to start Nuka World and just sort of sadly leveled him in the wasteland.
I, been listening to a series of books. That for once work as an audiobook. I've had problems with audiobooks, but I think I found the formula is just pick a book series you haven't read before. That way a big part of my brain isn't screaming, you're doing it wrong, that's not what his voice sounds like, you're doing it wrong. And
I have that problem with the movie transition of Justin in The Rats of Nim. Justin in the movie is much more Locke, lovable rogue. Justin in the book is like kind of a badass.
Right, but is that a characterization change or just down to like performance?
I would say it's a characterization change. They probably wanted to make Justin a stronger romantic role for Mrs. Frisbee.
See, for me, it's all down to when they get the performance wrong.
Sure.
Jim Dale in the Harry Potter novel audiobooks, really good example. Good narration, good speed, excellent cadence. Problem is, I hate him because I hate his Hermione voice so much that I can't accurately express it. Every time that guy talks as Hermione, more specifically, every time he says Harry's name as Hermione, I want to reach through whatever headphones I'm listening in and choke the life out of him. Because he's wrong.
But we have been doing stuff, and I mean, if we really wanted to, listener, we could talk about wrestling.
Yeah, where there's an NXT show we could watch. I got The Wrestler on DVD. We could watch that. We could watch Raw, which I heard was okay, or SmackDown, which I heard was also pretty good. Raw did some cool stuff. Triple H came back and did the thing that, like Max Landis said he should do always, and that's pretty neat.
I've talked a lot about wrestling lately, both in my personal life and to the internet. I need to breathe, and like, fucking the next pay-per-view is like on the 17th. I'm not ready for that shit.
September 11th, actually.
Is it the 11th? Okay.
I think. It's the week of the 11th. Might be the 17th. You might be right. And then the next one after that, I looked this up today. It's 2 weeks. The next one after that is 2 weeks. The next one after that is 2 weeks. Then there's 3 weeks. And then 3 weeks. And that's all we know so far.
We might have to pick a horse in this horse contest.
Or at the very least, we might not be podcasting about one of the two sets. Because even if I watch the other set, I might not be watching all of it. It's a lot of wrestling content, even for this podcast. And
I don't mind
I just don't feel like fucking like watching wrestling that much every couple weeks. Not a big deal.
No, that's all right.
Talking about it that much, however, that seems like it might be fucking exhausting.
It depends. It depends if they keep making the same mistakes. Or even if they keep doing the same shit right. Because you know what? I can only say 2 weeks later, yeah, same thing as a week ago, but a slightly different circumstance.
It was good, but like, yeah, fish and chips is good, sort of same way every time.
Unless you get
Yes,
a bad one, then, you know.
that's remarkable for being bad, but now it's just fish and chips. Just, not great, but good.
Oh, man.
Fills you up.
Fish and chips is good.
No, fish and chips is disgusting.
Well,
Fish
yeah,
is
you
disgusting.
don't like fish. I love me some good old fashioned, just like Grandpappy used to make. Go
In,
down to the river,
like the previous day's
just
sun.
punch fish square in his fucking fish face, grab it right like by the fish cheeks, look in one eye, and then flip it around, look in the other, and be like, "Look, fucker, you're gonna feed my family." Then he would take it to the deep fat fryer. He would not bone it or scale it or take the guts out. He would just toss that fish in there. Have you ever heard a fish scream?
So I feel like your grandfather may have like embellished some of his stories to you.
Shit, no. We got 25 more fucking minutes to fill. Why are you stopping? This is your fault. No, go ahead.
I didn't have
You
anywhere
do
to. I didn't have anywhere to yes and that shit.
No, it's I'm just fucking around. Honestly, we have been doing a lot of stuff. I've been mostly doing work. The Colt Regan RPG is closer to actual completion, like as a whole, than it ever has been.
Literally ever.
And I rebooted it. Like I took some advice, learned a lot about game design in the last couple of years, and started doing it again. And at the beginning of this year, and I told myself I will have these races done by the end of this year, and I'm very close to that.
And it's only a little ways over halfway through the year, so
Yeah.
Because I haven't even been playing that many video games. I've been doing stuff. It's not like I've just been sitting around watching YouTube all night, but like it's been all stuff that isn't really that you don't do. So it's hard to talk about on the podcast,
Stuff I don't.
Like the audiobook series I've been reading.
Oh, sure,
or
yeah.
the other book series that I've been reading when I can get access to it because the library app I use is. I mean, I gotta wait because I don't buy a lot of books because Two Nerds Podcast don't make any money. Maybe sign up for the Patreon.
$5 a month could buy this poor young man 2/3 of a book a month.
I get it on consignment. So, and it's like last night I watched 2 movies just because I fucking felt like it. I picked 2 movies out of the blue that I kind of wanted to watch for a couple years, and I just did.
Well, that's the funny thing. Like, there's tent poles, but you watched what? Now You See Me 2?
I watched Now You See Me and then Now You See Me 2.
Okay, I saw number 2 on your Facebook. I didn't know if you watched the first one or what the deal was there. But, like, I couldn't give a fuck about that.
Oh, see, I didn't really give a fuck about them either. Alright. So you want to know the thought process that led me to watching these
I
movies?
would dearly love to, because you just told me that you spent, I'm assuming, approximately 5 hours of your life doing something you didn't give a fuck about voluntarily.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I want to know.
Alright. So, I had been talking with someone earlier today. Now, brace yourself. I know this is a rare topic on the Tuners podcast. I've been talking with someone earlier in the day about Batman vs. Superman. And I was like,
Why do you think that movie was bad? Can we go into that? I don't think we've covered that on this podcast.
You know what? We got so much to talk about today. We'll do it another time.
All right, but we got to bookmark that because I don't think the listeners heard our opinion on this matter.
So I was like, and then at a certain point during the thing, I was like, I like him I like not Michael Cera, Jesse Eisenberg. Sorry, they're basically the same guy. I like Jesse Eisenberg in basically everything else he's in. I haven't seen The Social Network, to be fair. And I don't care to because that movie sounds boring as fuck.
Aaron Hansen's summary of it, I'm good.
I ain't give 2 fucks about Facebook or who founded it or the weird twins from The Matrix who were involved, I guess. Look, if you ask me to give you a summary of The Social Network, I feel like my summary would be... You know how you ask foreign people to give a summary of American politics? It would be that.
I would just let me Google that for you, the wiki article for history of Facebook. There you go, motherfucker.
But no, apparently that's not what happens in the movie at all.
No.
They very much dramatize it. But I haven't seen that. But like all the other stuff I've ever seen Jesse Eisenberg in,
He's good in Zombieland.
he's good in Zombieland. He's good in.
Oh, I watched that one movie he was in that was like Zombieland without the zombies and without Woody Harrelson. Was it called Adventureland? He's just in a lot of movies called something Land.
And I think it was him, yeah.
There was a couple of movies that came out right around the same time. He was a teenager. He was working at a shitty amusement park, getting ready to go to college.
I think that was him or Michael Cera.
No, it wasn't Michael Cera. Michael Cera is the cute one. Jesse Eisenberg is the serious one. They're both awkward, doofy-haired fuckwits.
So
in
they're
a pleasant
part of
way.
a boy band.
I don't. Where are the rest though? They need at least two more.
The badass using all possible air quotations one, and then the sweet one. No, that's Michael Cera. What are the boy band tropes?
I don't know
The old one. It's the old one. Or the fat one.
I don't. That was just that one guy, and his name is Fatone.
His name is Fat One. Look, I'm not the one who decided to go into show business with that name. He could have changed it.
I didn't. I wasn't.
But he was good in American Ultra. He was actually really good in that. I very much enjoyed his performance there. I've seen him in some other shit. Some other movies aren't coming to the top of my head right now. I ain't gonna open my Facebook for this unless we really need to fill some time.
Nah, we're good. Look, we're trucking, man.
And he's been good in basically everything else I've ever seen him in. And to be fair, once again, I have not seen Batman vs Superman, nor will I ever. I'm content to be that guy who bitches about the movie he hasn't seen, because I don't want to give it my eyes or time.
Well, make your point.
So I was like, you know what? This Now You See Me. Then that led me to he was even good on Penn and Teller when he was on Penn and Teller Fool Us. They do a show where they invite magicians on to do acts in front of them, and then they win if Penn and Teller can't figure out how they did the act.
Yeah.
He was on there. And it was obviously it's a promotion for Now You See Me Too. And they had fun. He was really fun and entertaining on that, and it was a cool magic trick he did. I was like, oh, that's cool. And I looked it up. Oh, that was a sequel he was promoting. Well, there's a first one. Well, I mean, I'll watch that. And then at the end, well, I might as well watch the sequel. That's what I came here to watch in the first place.
And that's
and there was cool spots in the trailer for the second one and some stuff.
I mean, it didn't look bad, but it was exactly the kind of movie that I see a trailer for and go, I will never see that.
First one was actually a pretty decent heist movie.
And I'm not that guy. I'm not a heist movie guy.
I am a heist movie guy.
You are a heist movie guy. If more than two people want to get in a place they ought not be, you're interested.
I mean, kinda, yeah.
Let me introduce you to The Burbs.
But it was a pretty cool heist movie. It was magicians doing heists, and then Robin Hooding and giving the money to people who have been wronged. And they had a reason, and there was twists and turns, and
sure.
I didn't pull a U because my brain didn't, in the first 5 minutes of the movie, go, it's that guy, that guy's the guy, that's the guy. But at the appropriate point in the movie, when they lay it out such that you could put it together, my brain went, this is what's going on. And then that was, and I was happy.
Yeah, well, you want it either that way or oh my God, I should have seen.
You don't want, that's stupid. Why was it that guy?
Well, I mean, you don't want that, or you don't want, that makes sense.
I mean, that just follows. But, it was the thing. And then the sequel had really cool set pieces and, neat, very obviously, a lot more CG involved, a lot more spectacle, a lot less what seems like actual magic trick sort of things. But it was a very fun movie, and a much worse one. I didn't have a bad time with it at all.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what matters.
And again, Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson together, perfect. They have really, really good back and forth. There's the second movie, Woody Harrelson plays his own twin brother. And
that's good.
He has He found Willem Dafoe's teeth from Spider-Man.
Oh, yay. Those are my favorite teeth.
Um,
They live in Willem Dafoe's head. Oh.
but it was, I mean, it was not a bad, neither were bad films. I think the first one was actually a really well-made heist movie with an interesting twist, with some interesting twists and turns, and a lot of actors I really like.
Sure.
You know, like, I keep doing it. Jesse Eisenberg, fucking Mark Zuckerberg. Jesse Eisenberg, again, brain
Woody
is off.
Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson, no, brain's off, hold on. Fucking red. Morgan Freeman. Thank you, brain. Come on.
Oh, my brain went to the...
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, the guy from Being John Malkovich? What's his name? John Malkovich?
No. Morgan Freeman's in it. He's really good. Michael Caine's in it. He's really good. And, like, another actor who I don't know, who I imagine, like, a young, fit dude who is fine.
Oh, Young Fitman. Yeah, he's good in
I'm
everything.
sure all the ladies know who he is, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, basically. And then kind of milquetoast, but not uninterested, but not completely boring female lead.
Jesse Eisenberg with fake boobs.
No, but she wasn't portrayed in a whole lot of a different way than that. You know, it was cool. It was fun. It was the criminals are cool heisters, and the cops are on their trail, and the cop is all like brooding, and that's Mark Ruffalo, and he's playing
Mark Ruffalo.
he's playing like a brooding cop who's like this magic shit is bullshit. Why am I on this case with fucking magicians? This is horseshit. I was about to bust mob boss guy, Chimicelli or some shit. And
Unfairly maligning my people.
Look, I didn't make up the dumb
Also,
name.
vermicelli is rice.
no. Chimicelli is what I said. I went way dumber than that. And like there's cool French lady from Interpol because they did international heists, who like is the partner he doesn't want on the case, and they have unresolved sexual tension, and it's just a very by the numbers but fun heist movie. And I can look at you right now, and you already know all the twists. Like I can see it in your brain.
I don't care either. And it's not even like I'm not even that person who's like, why would I watch this movie when I know what's going to happen? Unless I don't like what's going to happen, as in Marley and Me. But hey, come watch my movie. I get really depressed when no one watches my films, and you said you'd watch my films because you really like Zoolander, man. Sorry, the dog dies.
I mean,
no.
That dog clearly dies.
That movie might as well be called "This Dog is Fucking Dead."
This summer, the dog dies.
Shit, man. I was real sad. Why do you think I tried to kill myself? I get it now. That was my mediocre. My brain just, it had his name and it left it.
My brain just straight up gave me the wrong name. Just said Luke Mockery. Nope.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, Owen Wilson. That was my mediocre Owen Wilson. I don't do a very good Owen Wilson. But yeah, I just like those movies. Like when you had me sit down and watch fucking Limitless.
I'm still like, you've explained thoroughly why you don't like the movie, and I understand. But like, it was a fun movie.
It was like it's God. To be concise about it is nearly impossible, especially since I haven't watched it in like 3 fucking years, and do not plan on doing so. Although I do like that the movie version of the Rocket Raccoon skin in Marvel Heroes, when he levels up, says something about his power being limitless. That's funny.
I mean, that's just a good reference.
It's good reference in a reference. I dig that. But it's shit like that. Like, very modern, very sleek, action movie with a twist. For some reason, that shit gets in front of my eyes, and I'm like,
Yeah, you don't like that very much at all.
no. It's not anything against any of those other things. I like plenty of modern movies. I like plenty of action movies. I like plenty of sleek movies. I like plenty of twists. I like many of M. Night Shyamalan's movies up to a certain year. But you combine that shit, and I'm just, oh no. Inception was one of the only ones that I was like, yeah, okay. This went far enough that I'm interested.
It went goofy enough.
It went, interesting, intriguing. Goofy is also completely an option, although I'm not really super interested by the Crank ones, but I'm glad they exist.
I love the Crank movies. The Crank movies, I love them because I love them for the same reason you've heard me love many things on the podcast. It's so unapologetic. It so is what it is, and it has absolutely no bones about it, and it just be's a thing, and I like that.
But by contrast, and this is what I was saying earlier about, the tentpole features, yeah, we go see those together, we dig them, etc. But, like, when I'm at home watching movies alone, I'll either turn on weird indie crap, which you hate.
I mean, pretty universally.
Pretty universally, yeah.
There are exceptions,
even the bigger budget indie crap.
Like, it's just... It's a sauce. It's not necessarily what the plots are about, because I like slice of life stories.
Yeah, and that's really all most of them are.
There's like a malaise, a film, a cobweb network around indie movies.
The funny thing is, I think it's the same thing. And let me try to shoot for this here, okay? It's the difference between going into a sharper image store and going into a weird old, like, independently run used item store.
Okay, elaborate a little.
Well, okay, so the movies that you dig that I don't, that's the sharper image, where everything is, like, very fucking futuristic, streamlined, utilitarian, interesting. Like, yes, I can shave with this, but there's also an apple core on the other side.
Okay.
But it's all, like, fucking chrome and angles and, guys doing guy things in a guy way. And not that I have anything wrong with that, but, that's the store.
No, there's anything wrong with it, you guys.
Not that there's anything wrong with enjoying things. Whereas the indie movies, the Wes Anderson films, and shit like that, it's like you go in there and there's a guy with an odd mustache wearing a flannel shirt and thick glasses that don't have any lenses, and there's an old moose head on the wall and like shit made out of yarn and beads, and you're like, who the fuck would buy little frogs made out of seashells? And you're like, this store is stupid.
You're describing that store and I'm getting angry.
Right. And I'm in there going, fucking sweet seashell frogs. I need all of these.
Like, you described that store and my brain went, I don't want to ever go in that store. It's fictional. It's meant to make a point. Fuck it. That store sounds awful. That sounds like the worst experience.
And I don't really want to go into the sharper image store.
I want to slap the guy who owns it.
That shit,
just right in the face.
That shit sounds useful, but I don't want to shop there. And contrast the other store, none of that shit's useful.
Daniel Radcliffe's in the second one of these.
Yeah?
He's like the main antagonist.
Is he also a wizard?
No, he's a technological wizard. And like a weird shut-in. And like,
this movie came out recently where Daniel Radcliffe is a metaphor for the like near-death experiences, and also can be a boat. It's called, I think, Swiss Army Man. He's dead.
Fucking, we're Googling this shit right now. Because what? I feel like maybe your brain has given you...
No, I'm not even. He's like the other guy who's in the movie with him. Like, I don't know what happens, whether he dies over the course of the like first 10 minutes of the movie or if he finds a corpse, one of the two. And then throughout most of the rest of the movie, Daniel Radcliffe is being used as tools. Like, as a boat for this guy to get back from the wilderness and to help him start a fire and some shit.
What?
And then he gets back and tries to put his life together, and it's this weird, dark shit. And I'm like, I'm about this. Yes.
I mean, to be honest, I might be about this too. That sounds weird enough to be very interesting.
Right? But yeah, it amuses the shit out of me that, like, just where we're different. And but the other thing I watch, because I watch that, but then I'll also do dumbass, cheesy 80s and 90s stuff. Mostly 80s. And when I say cheesy 90s stuff, I don't necessarily mean like Clueless. I mean like...
Fucking, what is this? Is this Castaway meets Weekend at Bernie's?
Basically, yeah. Except he also talks.
A hopeless man on a deserted island befriends a dead body, and together they go on a surreal journey to get home. I'm watching this.
It looks really good, right?
I'm watching the fuck out of this. That sounds weird as shit.
Like, and it gets dark. Like, not any fun anymore dark. And I'm like, yeah, I can't wait for that part.
What the fuck? This, you know what? This is the kind of shit that Harry Potter movies get you. Because Daniel Radcliffe has all the money in the universe. He doesn't have to give one fuck about any role he takes.
Ron Weasley just goes around handing ice cream to children, man. I mean,
he doesn't charge for it. He just drives around an ice cream van giving away free ice cream. That's what he does with his life now. He decided to become a wizard.
I mean, he still acts now and then, but...
But in small stuff that he feels like acting in. And then fucking Daniel Radcliffe can do shit like this.
Oh, that one film about faking the moon landing was pretty cool. Well, in theory, I never saw it, but I'd like to.
And he was in, like, a play where he fucked a horse or something.
That was mid-Harry Potter. Hold on, guys, I'll be right back. I have to go fuck a horse. The rest of the cast is like, no, it makes sense, mate.
Or The Young Doctor's Notebook, which I stopped watching. Firmly. Not like it petered off or it just wasn't interesting. That was, alright. No! And then I turned it off. There was a moment that I just, too far.
But, this is something I've seen a lot on the internet lately. And, no one's ever thrown it at us because nobody ever leaves comments in our comments section anymore. Come on, guys. I thought you liked this.
Come on, guys.
But when people tell somebody, well, you didn't watch the whole movie, you didn't play the whole game, you don't get to judge it. I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure it's the onus of the movie and or game to pull you in and make you want to finish it.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I will say that I am always reluctant, personally, to judge a movie that I have not seen, unless there are very extenuating circumstances, like with Batman vs. Superman.
Sure.
I'm always otherwise reluctant to judge a movie that I have not seen. Even if I decide I don't want to watch the movie, I try and avoid making value judgments on how good or bad it was or wasn't.
Sure.
But that still doesn't mean that the movie didn't win my vote.
Well, and that bleeds into something else that kind of pisses me off. Recently, we achieved a new roommate, and he was down here watching Archer, the TV series, and I've never seen it before, but it's been recommended to me a lot, and I like the animation style. Okay, it reminds me of Frisky Dingo, and that show's all right. And I like John Benjamin, so.
Huh. This is continue. I am listening.
Well, the listener listens. You talk.
That's. I mean, I hadn't drifted out. I was just looking at other things Daniel Radcliffe did, and he went undercover as a racist in the movie Imperium.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw some previews for that. That looked okay. Okay. But anyway, I kept meaning to watch Archer. Like, it was in my Netflix queue and everything. But I just never got around to it. I mean, I don't watch much TV as it is. When I turn on something to watch, if it's not on YouTube, it's probably wrestling. As much as I want to get back into watching the last season of Longmire before the next season comes out, and as much as I want to watch stuff like, what is it? Stranger something?
Stranger Things?
Stranger Things.
Strange
my brain,
Things?
I've talked about a lot about Pirates of the Caribbean, a lot about...
On Stranger Tides.
Yeah, so my brain keeps wanting to go there. That's not accurate.
Doctor Strange.
No.
No,
I don't want to see that.
From what I understand, Stranger Things is real good.
And I want to see the that funk movie, that disco movie. Or not movie, series.
Yeah, you do.
I do. You don't. I'm aware
No.
of that.
That looks like a waste of my fucking time.
Says you and me be different, my man. I liked Idlewild, for example. There's no way in hell you'd sit through Idlewild.
I don't even know what the fuck that is. Sounds dumb.
It was Andre 3000 and the other guy in Outkast made a movie about old-timey musicians. It makes him skronk. It fills him with the rocket fuel. And then he gets really obsessed with himself. So, like any other day. But, I'd never seen it, and I was like, I don't think you guys are correct here. I don't think Archer is the show for me. I don't think I'd hate it, but it just doesn't seem that good.
I get that with Archer. All right, there's 3 things that basically everyone in my real life, at my day job, or on the internet or whatever, that I talk to about things, they all recommend 3 things to me. And I haven't seen any of them because I look and I go, no. No, that sounds stupid. And I tried little bits of one of them recently, and I was pretty vindicated. The first is Archer.
Mm-hmm.
I hear Archer recommended me a lot. The second is, what the fuck is it called? Rick and Morty.
Yeah, a lot of people I respect like that show.
And okay. Look, I'm not saying it's bad. It doesn't seem like a bad show.
I think it's a little too this side of the wacky shit I have no patience for in Futurama to be interesting to me.
Whereas I think it's, honestly, and this is coming from me, a little cynical.
What an interesting... I would not have pulled that. Thank you for that insight. What's the third show?
Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, that looks garbage.
Doesn't it, though?
It just looks like some guys who talk funny. I've seen a couple of funny lines from it, but I've also seen funny lines from Parks and Rec, and I have a hard time watching the first episode of that show. It's a pilot, so... but
Ron Swanson's funny in Parks and Rec.
Well, so's Aubrey Plaza and Chris Pratt.
Yes and yes. Blonde lady's insufferable.
And she's the main character, so... But regardless, people told me to watch Archer, and they were like, you're gonna love it. It's the funniest thing since shit. And I use this as an example because my classic example is Office Space. I don't like Office Space. I didn't think it was funny. I thought one line was funny. And I blame Diedrich Bader for that more than anything. But I just didn't find... I mean, it was an okay movie. I don't know that I would have sat down and watched it given the premise of the movie. But I sure as fuck wouldn't have sat down and watched it as a comedy if I'd understood. If you had showed me that movie and then you'd be like, what was the genre of that movie? I'd be like, I don't know, I guess like sort of a slice of life thing. No, that is a comedy. Are you sure?
You just have not worked enough time in an office.
Or I don't find those observations funny enough.
I think it's probably a combination of both.
Yeah, it certainly might be a combination of both. Because I'm not saying those events are unrealistic. I'm just saying they're not funny. Like,
but, anyway, you were talking about Archer.
Right, Archer. I use Archer as an example because a lot of folks say half the reason I don't like Office Space is because I knew annoying people when I was in high school who quoted it constantly.
In the worst ways.
In the worst ways. Archer, no. Everything I've heard from Archer is usually just, do you want ants because this is how you get ants, and that's funny enough.
Or then, do you want insert
right.
because this is how you get insert.
And that's fine. That's workable. And I watched a couple of episodes of it. And I believe at the time, other than feeling vindicated, I stated, this is like that show that's on between two shows you like on Adult Swim, but isn't bad enough to turn off.
It's not Assy McGee.
And I even sometimes watched Assy McGee. Look, sometimes okay, you know what? It's not fucking... What was that fucking show with the Vision Quest beast?
Fucking Jerusalem Spider?
I know, that's... No, that... I watched the fuck out of that.
No, a show about Spider Jerusalem? Yeah. Fucking, like... Where he was an angel and had, like, dog legs. Yeah.
And a beak.
That.
And a snake arm.
That. Whatever the fuck that is.
It was bad CGI. You know what I'm talking about.
It's not C-Lab.
No, C-Lab. I liked C-Lab. C-Lab had its moments.
One goddamn funny... There was one funny joke in C-Lab that I still quote And that was the double money scene.
That whole fucking episode was class. But, it's okay filler. It's just not like time to sit down and watch some Archer. I don't know what the fuck. No.
Or
time to sit down and watch anything goddamn else.
Or just don't.
Yeah, just don't. It's not bad. It's not like I was like, this is funny. I like Pam. She's funny. Like, that was a fun character. You don't know what I'm talking about. She's the fat lady.
Okay.
She's kind of crazy. But, like, in a cool way. Like, I expected they to play her a lot worse, and they didn't. But yeah, I made that call, and then I saw it with a perfectly open mind. It's not like I was like, I don't think I'll like this show. It's just, I don't think I'll like this show as much as y'all think I'm going to like this show. And it was accurate. There was no vindictive,
Ha ha!
Yeah, I was right. This show is shit. No.
John Lovitz did not pop out of his brain to laugh.
Yeah, it was just like, this is all right. Did you want to watch it near me? I'm okay with that. I might put headphones on to stop distracting myself. It did have a SpongeBob-like hypnotic quality to it. I'm not sure. I think I mentioned on our animation podcast. I knew someone who used to watch SpongeBob, and when I would come in the room, if the SpongeBob was on, I would be stuck watching the SpongeBob for a minute, even though I actively do not care for that show. But yeah, this had the same sort of like, what's going on over there on the screen? Are those people about to say something funny? Never terribly too funny. Worth a chuckle every now and then. But yet I would keep going back, like, maybe it'll be different this time. Maybe that good old punchline's coming.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's about how I always figured Archer would be.
Yeah. It's not bad. I just don't see why it's so phenomenal to other people, I guess. Whereas I can see, like, even if I didn't end up liking it, because I haven't seen it, I could see why Rick and Morty is funny to people.
Yeah, same.
It's abrasive and mean and, like, really, like you said, cynical. Now, the more I think about some of the messages I've seen from that show, no, you're right. Cynical as fuck.
It's a deeply cynical show, and I'm a cynical dude. I am. But I'm not a cynic.
I try not even to be cynical most of the time. Unless I'm getting my brain chemistry off. I try to be very realistic about things.
I'm pessimistic, not cynical.
Right. Yeah, there's a big difference there.
And it just crosses a line for me where the joke stops being these people are not good people, and the joke starts being the world is a shit pile and these people are what the result is.
And none of that is the reason that I thought I wouldn't like Bob's Burgers. Like, I just thought Bob's Burgers wasn't going to be very funny.
I knew dick about that show before I was introduced to it and fell in love.
I remember the first episode where you were very loudly and expectantly going, when's it get funny? When's it get funny? And then it got funny. And you were like, damn. It got funny. It got real damn funny.
Because at the start, it's all, no, this looks like it's going to be ass. This looks like it's going to be fried ass. I've seen this sort of thing before. Nah, nope. I think this looks like it's going to be bad. It's bad, though. I don't believe in this. Nope. And then Tina just turns to the camera, puts a finger to it like she's touching her lips and goes, shh. Only dreams now. And then it's just, and then you're off on the ride, and it's a damn funny show.
Yeah, but it's the same thing why I don't go back to Family Guy. I'm sure if I watched an episode of Family Guy, I'd laugh. But like, I don't
I recently watched a couple, not episodes, but like compilations of funny parts of Family Guy. Yeah.
Well, I remember why I stopped watching Family Guy. It was the episode where Brian and Stewie were stuck in a bank vault.
Yeah.
Like, I watched it and I was like, I don't feel good after that. This was like the, primetime major cable network version of a Serbian film, and I don't feel good.
I'm done.
Yeah, I think that was the last episode I watched.
I think that may have been the last full episode of that show I watched, too.
Well, because we watched it together, and I think at the end we were just both like, oh. I mean, say what you will about the later seasons of The Simpsons, I don't think they ever fucking did that. The Simpsons movie was the closest they'd come to doing that, in which Marge briefly leaves Homer. But
really, that's just the first logical decision the woman's made in years.
Their marriage isn't even that bad, though. Like, I think the reason that doesn't work is in comparison to every other cartoon family marriage on the fucking TV, theirs isn't that bad. When you're sharing a network with American Dad and Family Guy and... Bob's Burgers is fine. But, you know, still, you're not the worst guy on the block.
The Simpsons are two reasonably shitty people who are shitty in very different ways.
But they're not even that shitty. They're just dysfunctional.
They're reasonably shitty.
Yeah.
They're shitty within the realm of reason. Whereas their competition are usually two monsters, two actual monster people who have spawned a tribe of little tiny monster people, and they wreak havoc upon their surroundings through their awful, awful, awfulness. And then there's the Cleveland Show, about poor, sweet Cleveland and a bunch of monster people.
I don't know. Nothing that bad ever really happened. Like, not the pilot, I don't think, but the one after that was kind of rough. When the little kid, like, tried to break Cleveland's legs or something. But it got okay after that, once he chilled out. It wasn't terribly funny. But I liked watching it. I liked watching it 1 degree more than Archer, in that I would turn it on willingly. And go, yeah, Cleveland. Yeah, Turret.
All this shit is reminding me of... You remember that comic from... I think it was in Tumblr. I reblogged it or you reblogged it about, like... They didn't use any of the names, but, like, Chris Griffin and Bart Simpson... got together,
yeah.
And they're like their couple's counselor was Bobby Hill, and it was the
fucking touching shit.
It was actually touching.
Poignant.
Why the fuck can't we have King of the Hill? Why did that show have?
Because King of the Hill ran its course.
Yeah, but like,
and in rewatching Daria, as much as I miss it, that show ran its course a season before it ended.
That's true. I typically stop watching Daria about a season before the last one.
I mean, the last one isn't bad, and really, it's the second to last season that got weird. But because there was the musical episode and
the holiday episode,
and the one where Daria has a dream about a murder mystery, and like they're not bad episodes; they're just weird. Just such a violent tonal shift from the rest of the series. Honestly, the musical episode is the smallest offender of those. But, yeah, no, I mean...
Fucking King of the Hill is so timeless.
Yeah, man, yeah. It's a perfect little gem.
And that's what I mean. I don't mean why isn't it still going. I mean, why isn't there anywhere online I can fucking watch King of the Hill?
Legally.
Well, yeah, I mean, legally. I could...
This isn't even, that isn't Hulu thing. I'd watch it on Hulu.
Oh, yeah, King of the Hill, I would fully
I'd put
watch
up with those stupid fucking ads.
Whatever, I don't care. It's... Those people are nice. And they're not always right.
Except for Peggy. Peggy's a monster.
Peggy's a monster, but she's the only one.
Yeah.
She's the only monster, and everyone else is arrayed against her.
I mean, like, even the people who are bad people, like, Dale's wife, or Dale. Dale's trying his best. Dale just doesn't have a good idea of what best is.
Dale is a bad person through failure.
Dale is a bad person through bad aims. He wants to succeed and make people like him. He just has no fucking frame of reference for how that goes.
Dale's wife is a bad person through choice.
She is, but she feels bad about it.
But she doesn't stop.
She tries to stop a lot. I think she might have actually eventually stopped.
Yeah, I think that is. She stopped, and then John Redcorn went and formed Big Mountain Fudge Cake.
Yeah, Big Mountain Fudge Cake. God, that show is good. Lucky, the character's so wonderful that was only supposed to be there for one episode that they kept him on for the rest of the series.
And he slipped on pee-pee at the Costco.
And yet Lucky had this spun wisdom, this glorious just like view on life, man. I don't know. King of the Hill is some good shit. The older I get, the more I feel it. I don't know, I got crazy. What are you doing to me?
Man.
This time I ruined your segue.
Everything's better when nerds talk about it.
Fuck it, let's get hardcore!